Hello, this is Madhvi welcoming you to Young Minds versus Physics. Right, I have 20 plus years of experience in teaching. I know I started a little bit late in YouTube, but I'm very confident that I can reach you all, right, and help you all in scoring a better rank. And the most important one here is that the whole class will be done in absolutely in English. Hope you will be able to understand it and it will be very clear for you to catch up with the flow. Right, so please do like, subscribe, comment and share and help me reach thousands of students. Thank you and hold on. We shall proceed to the class. Hello and welcome to Young Minds versus Physics. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and do share with your friends. This channel is meant to prepare you to get a better rank. Either you are appearing for NEET or JEE or KVPY or even score more in boards. Children, now come on, let's move on to collisions. And the first part of collisions we are going to discuss like in relation with the center of mass. So now collisions, the basic words, right? The key words that we are supposed to know to proceed further are momentum, P bar is equal to mv bar, kg meter per second or Newton second. Force is equal to dp by dt, that is m into dv by dt is equal to ma, F is equal to ma, that is Newtons. And change in momentum is equal to force into time, right? See here, the change in momentum is equal to force into time, that is Newton second. This change in momentum, we call it as impulse. And the effect of impulse will be very, very high if force is high in a very short time, right? So if the force applied on a body is very high in a very short time, then the impulse is very, very high. This is where you will be studying in the theory part that like why do a cricket player who is trying to catch a ball will push his hands backwards. It is to reduce the effect of impulse. It is to reduce the effect of impulse, right? And here we go with law of conservation of linear momentum. Yes, that is the total momentum depends on frame of reference. This is what you have to remember because we are now relating collisions with the center of mass, right? Done. So therefore, with respect to the frame of reference or with respect to the observer, we talk about law of conservation of linear momentum. Here the total momentum depends on that observer or the frame of reference. Now the total momentum of an isolated system remains constant until F external is equal to 0. Yes, when you say isolated system, that means obviously it means that you are not applying any force from outside because the system is isolated already. It is separated from all other stray fields. Right, the total momentum of an isolated system remains constant. This is universal. Very important point. This statement is universal or this conservation is universal. That means when you talk about the particles deep inside the body, that is microscopic level. And when you talk about a huge system, right? So that is macroscopic. So therefore, this is followed by all the systems, right? The only condition that it should be an isolated system. So this is a universal statement that you have to keep in mind when you proceed to solve the problems, right? Linear momentum of two particle system. Yes, you are all familiar with that, right? Talking about the total momentum before collision is equal to the total momentum after collision. These parts we have, you already know them. And now coming to proceeding ahead, pause for a moment. I think the visibility is not so clear. Let's pause it. Yeah, here now it is clear, right? Linear momentum of two particle system relative to center of mass frame. Yes. So when we talk about like linear momentum, how to determine the linear momentum relative to with respect to center of mass frame. Okay, right. So now here you have considered the two particle system, one particle being mass m1 and m2, one having velocity v1 and v2, and of course the center of mass lies on the line joining the two masses. Absolutely fine, we are all familiar with that. Right, now coming on to the velocity of center of mass. When the masses of the particles and the velocities are given, this is the center of mass. That also you are very much familiar. That is Vcm bar is equal to m1 v1 bar plus m2 v2 bar divided by, yes, the total mass. Right, now coming on to now the velocity, right, with respect to center of mass, right? So v1 cm, that means velocity of the first particle with respect to the center of mass, means how is the first particle moving with respect to center of mass, how is the second particle moving with respect to center of mass. This is very, very important. Why? Because see, already we have seen the problem of the shell exploding, right, when it is projected and it is supposed to move along the parabolic path. There you have seen that the center of mass traveling along the same path but not the particles, right? So therefore it is very, very important for us to discuss about how the particle moves with respect to center of mass. Right, so now that is v1 cm bar, that is the relative velocity of 1 with respect to center of mass, that is v1 bar minus m1 v1 bar plus m2 v2 bar by m1 plus m2. You know very well that is v1 minus vcm bar, is it not? Right, so in place of vcm bar we substituted this. Right, on further simplification, right, velocity of m1 with respect to center of mass, on simplification what you will get? Right, so m1 plus m2 into v1 bar. So m1 v1 bar, m1 v1 bar, here it is plus, minus, they'll get cancelled. Right, so thus we will get it as m2 into v1 bar minus v2 bar by m1 plus m2. Right, so this is what it is, or v1 bar minus v2 bar. So what is that? v1 bar minus v2 bar is m2 v12 bar. Why are we replacing this with this? See, v1 bar minus v2 bar is velocity of m1 with respect to m2, is it not? Yes or no? Velocity of first particle with respect to second particle. So thus it is relative velocity or the relative motion of the first particle with respect to the second particle. That is m2 into v12 bar by m1 plus m2. Beautiful concept really. So we started like to determine velocity of the first particle with respect to the center of mass. We got the result in terms of velocity of the first particle with respect to second particle. Beautiful concept. When you start applying this, you will come to know the beauty of the concept here, right? So similarly now here, linear momentum with respect to center of mass is of course a first particle we are talking about. So therefore m1 v1 cm bar is equal to m1 m2 into v12 bar by m1 plus m2. Right, so where did you get this one? v1 cm bar, we got it to be this. Right, now substitute that here, that's all my dear. So m1 is here into the whole thing, right? So that is p1 cm bar. That means linear momentum of what? Yes, of first particle m1 with respect to center of mass. that is P1cm bar is m1 into V1cm bar, which is m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into V12 bar. This is the beauty here. So what is this one? This one, if you consider as mass, then m1 V1cm bar, that means when the particle is moving with respect to center of mass, then we got the result in terms of particle, the same particle moving with respect to second particle, where this m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 is called reduced mass. This is called reduced mass. So P1cm bar is equal to m1 V1cm bar. Similarly, if you talk about the motion of the second particle, then it obviously will be P2cm bar is equal to m2 into V2cm bar. That will be again m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, the same, but here it will be 2 1 bar, V2 1 bar rather than V1 2 bar. So there also you will get the reduced mass. So let us see it now, and those who wanted to note down this relationship, like of how a particle is moving with respect to the center of mass, how we should visualize it and calculate or substitute. I just hold on for a moment and then copy it down, then we can proceed. Now mu is reduced mass. What is that? m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. So that is reduced mass. So in terms of reduced mass, you got it to be mu into V1 minus V2 is P1c bar. Similarly, P2cm bar is equal to mu into V2 minus V1. Right, fine, fantastic. So everybody, so take that into your mind, right? Linear momentum of one body or a particle with respect to center of mass, right? So now we know the linear momentum of both the particles with respect to center of mass. So there you can see that it is always the relative motion between the two bodies or two particles is that which is affecting the motion with respect to center of mass, right? Now total linear momentum of two particle system with respect to center of mass, this is what we are going to now find out. Now total system. So now we know only the system where you have two particles. We determined separately P1cm and P2cm, right? So now the total one, that is the momentum of the total system with respect to center of mass. Previously, what did we deal? We just now discussed P1cm and P2cm. That means separately momentum of one particle and momentum of the particle individually we consider. Now we are going to take the total system. So sum of the momenta gives you the momentum of system, the complete system with respect to, yes, center of mass is the reference frame here, the reference point, right? With respect to center of mass we are talking. Right. So now here you have that V12 plus V21, that is equal to 0. Why? Because magnitudes are equal but their signs are opposite. You know that V12 bar is V1 bar minus V2 bar, and where V21 bar is equal to V2 bar minus V1 bar. So the signs are absolutely opposite. Therefore, the momentum of the total system with respect to center of mass is 0. That means, see the beauty here. What is the meaning of this? So I have a center of mass here. Okay, I am drawing first center of mass because we are taking that to be the reference, right? I have one body here and another body here. Right, my center of mass is here until, that means when the system is isolated. This is the point when the system is isolated. Suppose if this body started moving here, then this body also moves like this, so that the net momentum should be 0 with respect to center of mass. This one we have already discussed while we were solving the problems based on center of mass, right? But here we are seeing this, the analytical treatment of the concept. Got it? So therefore, that means this one by itself it can't move. There should be some internal forces which are acting and thus letting the bodies move. But whatever may be the movement of each body, then the movement of the other body should compensate the change in the momentum in this, so that momentum of the total system with respect to center of mass remains zero. Clear? Right. So therefore, the momentum of system relative to center of mass is zero. Now when we talk about the momentum, so obviously we talk about kinetic energy. Why? Because kinetic energy is equal to p square by 2m. Then we may think that when the momentum is zero, then kinetic energy should also be zero. Okay, let us see whether it is true or whether what we are thinking is right or not. Right, so now kinetic energy of the two particle system, yes, k1 cm, that means kinetic energy with respect to center of mass. So half m1 into v1 cm whole square. V1 cm, you know, we have just now seen m2 into v1 2 bar by m1 plus m2 whole square. So this is how we got it. Clear? So look at the equation, right? Observe, digest, and now let's proceed. Now, so therefore, now K2 cm, right? That means kinetic energy of second particle with respect to center of mass is half m2 into v2 square. What is v2? m1 into v21 by m1 plus m2 whole square. So that whole square, so just I have converted into, like, this is modulus square, this is m1 square by m1 plus m2 whole square. Clear? Yeah. Give a look at these two, k1 cm and k2 cm. That is the kinetic energy of first particle with respect to center of mass and second particle with respect to center of mass. Clear? Right, please note it down. I'll give you a minute. Right now the next one is total kinetic energy of the system of particles. Come on, already how we have done it for momentum, total momentum for total system, right? So kinetic energy of the system with respect to center of mass is sum of these two. Yes, add them. Yes. So v1 minus v2 whole square and v2 minus v1 whole square, remaining all terms, if you observe, it is m1 by m1 plus m2, 1 by 2 m1 m1 m2 by m1 plus m2, we can take it out common, right? So therefore I am taking this part common. So m1 m2 by 2 into m1 plus m2 whole square. Anyhow, all the math students know that m2 into a minus b whole square plus m1 into b minus a whole square, a minus b whole square and b minus a whole square. Since it is a square, you can write it as a minus b whole square plus a minus b whole square, not an issue. Right? So therefore, we can take this one as like m2. So if you get into the derivation part, it is v1 square plus v2 square minus 2v1 v2. So therefore, I will take both as same, v1 minus v2 whole square. Right? So why? Because so v1 minus v2 whole square is equal to v2 minus v1 whole square. Thus, so in place of these two, like, I can replace v2 minus v1 with v1 minus v2 whole square and taking it out common, right? And here is the explanation to the NEET children, if at all you want, why I am taking these two as v1 minus v2 only, right? So now v1 minus v2 whole square taken common and m1 plus m2 here. So one m1 plus m2 here and another m1 plus m2 from here will get cancelled. So you are left with half m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into v1 minus v2 whole square, where this is mu again, reduced mass. So half mu into v12 whole square. So that is kinetic energy of the system of with respect to center of mass is not zero. Absolute. With respect to center of mass, the kinetic energy is not zero. Yes, that is what you have to remember. That is what you should digest in your mind. There it is a vector quantity when it comes to momentum. So therefore, momentum of the system with respect to center of mass is zero. Here though it is only a scalar quantity. Energy is a scalar quantity when you want to go with the analytical explanation of it. Right, therefore kinetic energy of the system with respect to center of mass is not zero. It is not zero. Right, now when you talk about the total kinetic energy of the system, that is with respect to center of mass, the system's kinetic energy plus the kinetic energy of the center of mass itself. See, this means that how the particles or how the system is moving with respect to center of mass. That means what kinetic energy the system is having with respect to center of mass. Now when you talk about the total kinetic energy, you have to add the kinetic energy of the system plus kinetic energy of center of mass. No confusion, no chance for any confusion. Right, children? Right. So, therefore, kinetic energy total is equal to half. This is the total kinetic energy of the system with respect to center of mass plus half mvcm square. Capital M is m1 plus m2 here. Capital M is the mass of the total system. Right, total mass of the system. Right, very important. This is very important. Clear? So now therefore thus since, so you may now say that, see, when a bomb is exploded, from where did we get that change in the velocity of the particles? Even though the center of mass is continuing in the same path, but the particles are not continuing along the path. Why? Because of this kinetic energy. This kinetic energy, where do you think that we are getting? Yes, we shall discuss this just now. Hold on for a minute. Yes, the secret here is work energy theorem relative to center of mass. You all know what is work energy theorem? Yes, work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Right, while stating that, you will again say that work done by external force is equal to change in kinetic energy. Now again you may say, ma'am, how is this possible? Here you are saying that kinetic energy, it is because of the kinetic energy the particles are able to gain some different velocities. And now you are saying again work done by the external force gives or brings a change in kinetic energy, is it not? So now let us see what's happening in this case, right? So now work done, the total work done is equal to total change in the kinetic energy, right? So therefore, the total is, here we mean to say work done because of the internal forces plus work done because of the external forces. Right, so the work done because of the internal forces will bring out the internal changes in the velocities of the particles. Thus, there is a change, kinetic energy. And this kinetic energy, from where do you think that you are getting this kinetic energy? It is because of the internal energy, the explosion, right, takes place because of the internal energy. And because of this internal energy of the body, right, the kinetic energy of the particles is now different. Clear? It is not because of the external. So therefore, this part is very important for you people to understand. So now therefore, change in kinetic energy is half mu into relative velocity final whole square minus relative velocity of initial square. Because what is work done is equal to change in kinetic energy, that is half mv square minus half mu square. That is what you will write for a particle or for a body. And now we are writing it for a system, that is the relative velocity final minus relative velocity initial squares. So where mu is equal to reduced mass m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. Therefore W total is equal to half mu into v relative velocity final square minus v relative velocity initial square. Clear? Is that fine? Yes, now you can understand. Now you will be able to satisfied, I think, like suddenly why there is a change in the motion of the particles as the bomb explodes or as the shell explodes. And if at all there is a change in kinetic energy, means there should be a momentum also. No, momentum is a vector quantity we analytically talking about, and physically talking about, the change is not because of the external energy, but that is because of the internal energy of the body, right, of the shell. Clear? So this is all for today, and wait for more videos, as well as please subscribe. I know I started a little bit late, but I think I'm confident I can reach many people and I can make your doubts clear in a simpler manner, and that too purely only in English. Alright, thank you students, and please subscribe and share with your friends. Bye bye, see you.